This Perkins-Coie decision, one of the things that I found so interesting was Judge Howell really focused on intent, right? She went right to why is the president choosing to do this?
And it's retaliatory action, which is what she said is unlawful. And what the judge added to that Shakespeare quote was, this is actually, let's kill all the lawyers we don't like. And that's basically what she said this executive order is. The government, the president, cannot retaliate against a law firm or an individual for protected speech. Can't retaliate against a law firm because I don't like that you represented Hillary Clinton or other clients. Can't retaliate against a law firm because you represent clients that might be going after things that I approve of, my actions. So it's a violation of the First Amendment viewpoint. It's a violation of Fifth Amendment due process, and also violates the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. They have clients that they're basically saying, sorry for your clients, but you can't represent them in the patent office, in the SEC, in the federal court. So this decision, it's a motion for summary judgment granted, which means the judge said there's no need for trial because there's no genuine issue of fact. Case over. Of course, it's not over if the administration chooses to appeal it. But right now it's over. And there's three other firms, Wilma Hale, Sussman Godfrey, and Jenner Block, three different federal judges. I think that they will come with the same decision. So you'll have four federal courts, different judges saying that these executive orders against these law firms for their retaliatory actions, First Amendment violation, are null and void. And the question is, will the administration appeal it?
And what do you think they will do?
They probably will. They appeal everything else. So it will be appealed to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, which will probably, I don't like to predict, may affirm all the decisions. And then will they appeal it to the Supreme Court? Are there really 5 members of the Supreme Court that are going to say that the government can retaliate against a law firm because they represented clients that the president did not like in the past, or hired people as partners that the president does not like?
If you were one of the firms that chose to capitulate and chose to bend the knee to the president, are you now looking at this Perkins-Coie decision and saying perhaps we played the wrong hand?
Perhaps, but their decisions were strictly business.
Yes.
It's almost like The Godfather. It was just business.
Yep.
You know, I once had a law firm partner say, no clients, no firm. So they made a decision that they might lose clients, and if they didn't have clients, no firm. I don't think they expected the harm to the reputation that has happened because of the, as you said, bending the knee to the president.
It is interesting to me looking at these two rulings side by side, the ruling from Judge Howell over Perkins-Coie and then the ruling we saw out of Texas, again, from a Trump-appointed judge who said, this is not the proper use of the Alien Enemies Act, and the fact that you are using it to target one nationality, something we have not seen done since one of the darkest periods of U.S. history, is not, in fact, constitutional. It's interesting to me because Perkins-Coie it's a powerful law firm. Venezuelan nationals who we are watching be disappeared right now are very often people who do not have the same resources, who do not have the same voice. And so the fact that this administration is weaponizing the law both against the most powerful and the powerless, and that you have judges of all political stripes stepping in and saying due process is afforded to you whether you are Perkins-Coie or a Venezuelan national, says that there is some line that is still holding, even if that line is being held by individuals.
And the line is being held by the courts. And it's interesting, federal judges, what make a federal judge different from a state court judge is federal judges don't have to run for re-election. Yeah. Federal judges don't have to worry about being reappointed. They have lifetime appointments. So it's a disservice to say Obama judge, Bush judge, Trump judge. They, if they are doing their jobs, they have no political agenda. They just are following the law and the facts, which makes it easy when you know you don't have to run for re-election or be reappointed. You can just do the right thing.
I hear your point about a disservice, because now I'm going to take ownership of the fact that I called it a Trump appointment.
I'm not saying you did a disservice.
No, but I think it is a good point. And I think the reason that we say it is because part of the Trump message to his base is that there are all these activist judges who are against him. So to have a judge who he chose and put in that position say this is beyond the pale sends a slightly different message. As I understand it, this only applies within the Texas jurisdiction. So then how do you extrapolate that out to other places?
Well, there are other, because these court cases are going to be throughout the country. And one would hope that the other judges will also follow the law and follow the facts. Basically, the Alien Enemies Act says there has to be a declared war, which there is not, definitely not one with Venezuela. There has to be an invasion or predatory incursion. And this judge, Judge Rodriguez in the Southern District of Texas, said, we don't have that here. So not saying that the government cannot deport people under valid circumstances, but using this act is not a lawful purpose.